can use this to grow other food. So you can create mushroom compost. Then you can also use the mushrooms you grow as livestock feed. So if you have chickens, pigs, goats, cows, and you can use the mycelium or even the mushrooms to feed this livestock. So rather than having to spend extra money to buy food for your livestock, you can use the mushrooms you grow. So nothing goes to waste. So sometimes you will have these little small mushrooms like this, or you will have contaminated mushrooms, and you can use this to feed your animals. And lastly, biofuel. This is very innovative right now. This is being researched in universities and institutions. So it took fuel. It's here from America. Currently, they are starting to explore using mushrooms and fungi, mycelium, to create fuel, to power cars, to power bodabodas, to power engines, homes, just about anything. And lastly, we have mushroom farms in Africa. So they're starting to pop up all across, from west to east to central to south. There are mushroom farms all across Africa. We see Eco-Agric in Uganda, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, surrounding Uganda. There are mushroom farms popping up everywhere.
And our friend who was here for the festival 2 days ago, his name is George, and he's out in Kenya. This is a success story. He runs a mushroom farm called 2J Mushrooms, and he sells to local restaurants, and he grows off of different agricultural waste. And what's awesome is he's a team of 4, so you don't have to do this alone. You can build a team together. And a lot of America do this as well as George from Kenya. And he also partners with universities too. And they've actually given him scholarships and grants. So he got 25,000 USD, American dollars, to grow his mushroom farm in Kenya. And that helped him get electricity on his farm. And social media works really well with spreading awareness. That's how I met George, and a lot of people met George is through social media. And like I said, harvesting and packaging and having the logo, so making a business out of it. So Eco-Agric is an organization, and 2J Mushroom is a successful mushroom farming business. So there's mushrooms for food, but there's also mushrooms for medicine. So if someone is sick, someone has diabetes, someone has gastrointestinal disease, someone has cancer, different mushrooms have different benefits. There's turkey tail and lion's mane and reishi, and there's wild mushrooms. So mushrooms serve a lot of different purposes. So I'm gonna go through a couple of mushrooms. These are oyster. So you guys are used to seeing these oysters. These are very popular in Uganda. But there's also pink and yellow and blue oysters. There's the big variety of mushrooms, not just these. And you can grow them, and you'll learn more about the growing method in the mushroom lab. This is reishi. It's very medicinal. It's a medicine. Reishi, guys, nice job. Reishi! And then we also have turkey tail. Very, very good mushrooms. I saw some growing up in the cottages where you guys will go and learn about honey later. And then this is cordyceps, also really good mushroom for cancer and tumors. And lion's mane, this mushroom is good for people with memory problems. So if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, lion's mane is really great. So there's a lot of medicinal mushrooms. So I'm going to play a video really quick. This is of Berik, you know his name? Banariki. He's this booth right here. So after this, you guys will go explore Banariki's booth. He'll show you a little bit more about mushrooms as medicine. So I'm going to show you a quick video about him.
Through the support of generosity, there have been much change when it comes to access of seeds. That's number one. Many people have benefited when it comes to income generating activity. They have money, they are getting like this money, which they would wait for after month. Family is able to get in just a short period, so 1 week instead of a month. So there are also a trend that and they have content because they are having medicine, they have vegetables, they have mushroom, which is also part of medicine as well as
So Benrique has a variety of products. He actually gave Dennis, our friend from America, some mushroom coffee, and it's very medicinal. It has a lot of medicine properties. So here at Agric, you've got Eco-Agric Uganda. They focus a lot on oyster mushrooms because they're easy to grow and also easy to harvest. And also medicinal. And I want to let you guys know, you don't have to be an adult to start a mushroom farm. You don't have to be adult. You can be a kid. In the USA, in America, this kid is only 7 years old. And he started a mushroom farm that is very successful. And here in Mexico, these kids actually forage for mushrooms. So they go out into the forest and they pick the mushrooms. They don't grow them in grow houses here. They actually pick them and they sell them at local markets and to mushroom enthusiasts. And that is their way of income. They become very knowledgeable on picking mushrooms. And then also in Colorado, in America, in the USA, there's another young lady that grows mushrooms and she's about 10 years old. So like I said, you don't have to be one person, you can have a team. In America, having teams of mushroom farmers is very popular. Either teams of 2, 3, some big mushroom farms have teams of 20, 30. So I want to talk a little bit about, very quickly, about something that's really also important. So we covered mushrooms as food, mushrooms as medicine, but what about mushrooms as materials? So mycelium, the root structure of the mushroom, the seed, when it grows out, this white stuff is mycelium. Can you guys say that with me? Mycelium? Mycelium. Good job. You guys said it really well. Mycelium is very important in mushroom growing. So Max was saying compost. You throw the mushroom block when it's done growing back into the garden. And this actually helps with aiding nutrients to trees. That's why it's very important. Mushroom and mycelium is very important to the ecosystem. So you can actually make materials, building materials out of mycelium. Some people make chairs, some people make guitars. Our friend in the US, in Los Angeles, made a boat out of mycelium. So I'm gonna pass this around so you can touch it. This is, so you learned about substrates a little. That is mycelium with hand-curd substrate. So it's kind of like straw, like sawdust. And then you would bake it in the sun. So if I put this in the sun for 2 days, maybe a week, it'll harden and get like that. So you can create a lot of different things. Some people build buildings. This is in the UK, in London, in Europe. And it's very easy, you need a mold. So this is how they made the bricks. You get a mold, you would crush this up right here. You crush it up and put it in the mold. And then after a couple days, bake it in the sun. It turns into a material like that. This is another success story in Kenya. Matamo Kililo started Mycotile. He is the only person in Africa to start a mushroom biotechnology company using mycomaterials. And he gets the sawdust and the mushroom material and he puts it in a mold and then he grows it. And he actually has been using it for many, many things. And this is a picture of him in Kenya doing insulation in a house. So there's a lot of possibilities and opportunities if you want to get into science and technology. They're also using mycelium in space. I think you covered that too, Dennis. But like I said, there's a lot of opportunities. Mushrooms are food, they're also medicine, and then they're also materials. So if you want to be a mushroom farmer, if you want to be a doctor, you can learn about medicinal mushrooms to prescribe them. And if you want to be in technology or different science, they call it fungal biotechnology. That's the word for what people are using with those mycotiles. There's a lot of opportunities. And then you can also start exploring wild mushrooms in Uganda. There's nobody doing that here. So this is also a big opportunity. If you're walking in the forest, you see a mushroom, take a picture of it. Try to learn what it is. Look it up online. But next year, we will be back, and hopefully with a forager who can help and assist you guys in identifying these mushrooms. But I think that is all for us, right? opportunities, about the US, about sponsorships or grants. No questions?
Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Let us take a picture? Yes?